Welcome to the Vault Excel. This is live number 2. Thank you for your time. Please check my community page for the movie of the week, Deadly Shores, now playing free on the Tubi app. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app as well. Feel free to comment and also subscribe and share that content to all platforms. The live earlier I brought to you was pertaining to a very obese black female out of Detroit, Michigan, who is a rapper. She goes by the name Dank DeMoss. Her real name is Dewaya Blanding. She settled a lawsuit with the Lyft company in September because she was denied a ride by a male driver. Please take the polls on my community page. Do you think it was right for him to be fired? Do you think she had a legal right to sue? Do you think she was discriminated against? Would you deny a person of 489 pounds to get in your car and or get in a car you were driving for rideshare? Please take the polls. Check out the shorts and also the live stream pertaining to that content. Welcome to the Vault Excel. Last week I asked you what you were grateful for, thankful for. This live, I'm asking you, what do you regret? I meant to do this live the other night, but I forgot about it. So I'm going to ask it again, and I still will get back on later uh, by Wednesday, and we'll talk about Thanksgiving, giving thanks, and what your plans are for the holidays. I'm sure there are many people who have regrets. Maybe you regret a job, current job, you didn't move somewhere, out of town, out of state, regret a relationship, relationships, courtships, friendships. What do you regret? Do you regret never having children, having children, getting married, not getting married? Actually, you can regret just about anything. You regret you didn't buy something at the store when you saw it, whether it was expensive, on sale, you didn't have enough money, you had the money, you thought you'd come back, it was gone. But mainly, I want to touch on having regrets in decision making, decisions that you made or did not make in life pertaining to people, places, and things. What do you regret? Did you start a job, didn't work out, you quit the job too soon, or you stayed too long? You wanted to go to school, college, take some courses, but you didn't have time or didn't want to make time. Maybe you were just too lazy. You put it off. I'll go to school another time. But you regret not going to school. Maybe you regret not finishing college, university. Wish you had a better paying job. You feel like, well, maybe had I gotten a degree, I'd have a better job, a better home, better car. What do you regret? That is the topic of this live stream. I'm slow rolling tonight, but that's okay. I promised I would do this live, so I want to get it out before the holiday. And I thank you all for watching this network. Welcome out new subs and viewers, new viewers. Hit that like button and comment below the video. Comment on my polls. Um, Life is short, as most of you know, especially when you get to this age that I am. I am currently 54. I will be 55 in January, the end of January. And I don't have much time to play around, let's say, wasting my time on, nonsense, people, going back and forth with a person over petty nonsense, going back and forth in relationships that I know don't mean me good. I don't really get along with the person, but I kind of like the person. In the end, I have to tell myself I don't have that kind of time. I'm not a young person anymore. I'm not 20. I'm not 30. And I'm at the hump of life. And this is the point in life where you really need to be sound in your decision making and your choices. And you don't need to be wasting your time. Frankly, I would give this advice to a young person because you're only going to be young once. You're not going to get a do-over. So this is why I tell young people to live your life. Do the things you want to do. do what you want to do, within reason, not breaking the law, but live, go places, see things, meet new people, try new things. Because you don't want to look back and say, I wish I had a done this. I wish I had a taken that job. I wish I had a traveled overseas, or I wish I had a moved out of state to see what it's like. Because I get it, moving about is scary, especially when you're talking about out of state, going somewhere where you don't know people. You definitely want to have a plan, as so you don't end up a statistic or hurt. Because we do know that bad things happen to people when they have not planned things thoroughly, or jumping on the bandwagon, going with people you don't really know anything about. You have to be careful doing that, of course. But just saying, the flip side is you want to live, you want to take a chance. And a lot of people are scared to take chances because they're probably worried about failure. Because, moving to a different place, you don't know anything about the people, but you might want to go. Maybe you visited once, you're like, oh, I really like this city. But you're afraid to go because you're afraid of failure. You're going to get there, it's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. And as you know, rent's very high in many cities. So you do need to be prepared. You do need to be prepared because you don't want to be homeless, end up in a bad situation, living with some people. It's not working out. You want to make sure you've got extra cash flow, get you somewhere to stay. But many people have regrets. We all have had regrets. Maybe not staying on a job, like I said. You bowed out for whatever reason. Issues with a manager, supervisor, co-workers. And do you know that's the main reason why most people quit jobs is because of co-worker, manager, supervisor issues, hours, not enough pay. But they may have actually liked the job. It's a weird phenomenon. Liking a job, but hell, you're not making enough money. You like the job, but you don't like your coworkers. You like the job, but you don't like your manager, your supervisor, the owner. That's a terrible place to be. Do you regret not speaking to family members? Do some of you have family members you're not speaking to, you don't get along with, or they don't like you? You had a disagreement, a fallout. Do you think you can mend it? Do you want to mend it? Do you regret that you aren't making an effort to mend it? Maybe too much time went by and the person just said, the hell with it. I'm not worried about it. I'm sure there's some of you who do regret not speaking to family members, maybe even your children. Maybe you have a regret that you didn't try hard enough to make it work. How about a relationship? Did you not put in the effort to make it work? Maybe you were not a forgiving person for certain pet peeves, things the person was doing, saying. What regrets do you have? Do you feel like you haven't lived a full life? You've always had trauma, drama, chaos in your life. You made bad decisions and picking people and allowing them to use you, manipulate you. You regret not standing up for yourself. It's going very well, Wiccan. Thank you. How are you? I wish I had stood up for myself. I wish I had told people how I felt. Do you regret not being a strong individual? Maybe you regret being too boisterous, too outspoken, not knowing your place, speaking out of turn, getting others' business, spreading others' business. Did you ever lie, steal, manipulate, con? Do you regret a past life where you stayed in trouble with the law, broke the law, drug addict, alcoholic, thief, defrauder? People hate you, don't like you, still judging you from the past. Criminal record, been to prison, been to jail. You regret that time there. Do you regret having a child that you didn't take good care of, neglected, didn't raise? You can't make amends to that relationship. What about a parent that didn't raise you, didn't take care of you? Do you regret not forgiving them, not trying to make it work with your parents? Everyone has some form of a regret in their life. You're very welcome, Wicked. What can you stand to live with and without? pertaining to your regrets. Because a lot of people beat themselves up daily for things they've done, they think they've done wrong in life, mistakes, deliberate mistakes, deliberate decisions. Did you spite someone, do something evil to someone, exacted revenge? Did you get someone fired from their job? You caused them to lose their child, caused them to lose a relationship. Did you destroy someone's spirit and you have regrets? You want to apologize. You want to own up that you did it, but you're afraid of what's going to happen. The ramifications if you told the truth. What regrets do you have? Did you have children too early in life? Too late in life? Didn't work out in your favor. You don't feel motherly, maternal instinct, or you don't have the money. You struggling being a parent, wishing you never had children. Not that you don't love the child, but you just don't have it all together mentally, physically, financially. Having your children is a burden to you. Do you regret having children? Do you regret not having a lot of children? Maybe you had one child and your child wanted a sibling, but you just didn't want to have a child for whatever reason. Maybe you couldn't have any more children. Maybe you wanted to be married with children. Do you have children out of wedlock? You wish you had a spouse to be beside you raising your children. You feel some type of way. Maybe you came from a family where being married was the end all. No exceptions to the rule. You want to please your parents, your family, but you got knocked up, had a kid, baby daddy went his way that way. Or maybe baby daddy's still around, but people are still looking at you like, why aren't you married? Did you date someone for a long time? And people start questioning, why aren't you married? He ain't asked you to marry him? Are you wishing he would ask you? You feel some type of way as a woman asking a man to marry you. That doesn't look right, maybe in your eye. But you've been together a long time, 10 years, 15 years. And there are relationships where people have been together a long time. An elderly lady told me that the other day. She was in a relationship for about, I think she said 51 years or something like that. But she wasn't married to him. He passed away this year. I thought, how could a person be with someone 40, 50 years and never married? When you're at the 10-year mark with another human and there's no wedding ring ceremony, it's odd to me. That's my opinion. I don't want to be with someone that long. And he doesn't think of me as an appropriate mate. Now, naturally, some people say, oh, it's just a piece of paper. Is it? People say, oh, when they get married, things change. He'll change. She'll change. Is that true? Because you know that every situation is not the same. Everyone don't navigate the same. And yes, some people don't want to get married. But we live in a world where we are judged. We judge. There are protocols to how people navigate. You may agree, not agree. We do live in a more free society. I was thinking about this the other day, and I've been thinking about this for some time, quite frankly, that really we don't live in a world like it was when I was coming up. I was born in 71. So, the world has vastly changed since 1971. People are more free with their ideas, their personalities, changing their sexes, the color of their hair, who they date, don't date, having babies, no husband, no boyfriends, no support, no family, being loners, running off into the world, skipping along with no direction, don't want a direction. More people are drunks, alcoholics, drug addicts, trying anything and everything. What I see today is that we have more people who are followers than leaders. Everybody jumping on a bandwagon to do stupid stuff, trying stupid stuff, Evel Knievel acts. Oh, he did it. Let me try it. Hey, this is the latest fad. Let me try it. We are in a world of followers, and it's not cute. It's not nice. Going live all the time. Got to be on that microphone. Got to be seen. Telling all your business. It was once sacred to keep personal things to oneself. Now everyone's live talking about what somebody did to them on the job, what the boss said out of the way, what the man did, what the woman did, what the child did, what you don't like about the child's school, the child's teacher, running up, confronting people, pulling out your cell phone to film confronting somebody, standing on the sidewalk, filming the police, apprehend someone, arrest someone. That is the world that we are in now. New money, as I call it. It's crass. I watch a lot of reality TV and I realize how new money is fake. People with new money are more derogatory, vagrant, bold, loud, ignorant. It's not cute. Camera running and you just putting on for show, walking around with your Gucci bag and Gucci slippers, made up like a mannequin. But basically, you're just a stuffed doll, wind up toy. And you don't even realize it. And maybe you will regret that, letting a camera follow you around, showing all of your business and your woo-ha and your nanas, and showing every ugly argument, comment, talking loud in front of the camera to be seen so you can keep a place on a housewife show. Am I talking about you? Am I talking about your friend, your neighbor? What's wrong with being a leader? What's wrong with thinking for oneself? What's wrong with telling people, no, I don't want to drink. No, I don't want to get high. No, I don't want to smoke weed. No, I don't want to smoke fentanyl, crack cocaine. I don't want to snort cocaine. I want to be me. I don't want to do what you're doing. Maybe we don't even need to be talking since you want to coerce me into something I'm not wanting to do. What is wrong with being a leader? We just don't live in a time where people care for themselves. And that's my opinion. We talk too much. We're show offs. We're braggers. We're loafers. We're sociopaths, psychopaths. We're ignorant as hell. And we don't mind. And that's what I see today. When I was watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta the past couple of days, I've been binge watching season 16. At some point, I get an enjoyment, just seeing how they're dressed and the nice homes and the cars and the eating out and the dinners. But then the flip side is I know there's going to be some BS, some arguing, some name calling, hair pulling, some revenge. And once again, season 16 did not disappoint. It's all of the things I just named. Showing off, bragging, aloof, blatant, honorary, disrespectful. And at some point I said, ugh, this is starting to get on my nerve. Because we're just around people who are just not genuine. We are living in, as I said, a fake, fraudulent society with a lot of disingenuous people who are not nice, mean, bullies, show offs, arrogant, just ignorant. I know there's some good in the world. There's some good people, nice people. But can they be mean, have a bad day? Of course. In the same breath, they're nice. They can be vengeful, spiteful, hateful, jealous, envious, because we're human. That's why you have to repent. You believe in God. And He judges all. And we're going to judge because we're of the flesh. And He knows this. As it has been said, we are made in his image. We are flawed. But I say to you, whoever you are, whether you're 50, you're 70, you're 80, you're 20, children, no children, children grown, married, unmarried, been married a lot of times, divorced a lot of times, live your best life and live it truthfully. Be of use, be helpful, but then don't get used and manipulated. Don't extend yourself beyond what you're capable of doing. You don't feel right about something, then let it be known. I don't feel comfortable with doing that, and don't worry about what people think. You don't have the money, then say you don't have the money to lend out, to give. You don't have the time, do the same. You don't have anything nice to say, maybe you should be quiet. Someone asks your opinion and you know it's probably going to hurt their feelings or it's going to be controversial, say, I decline to answer. Be a leader. You don't have to be a follower. So that way you don't have to have any regrets about dealing with people saying anything. And then the flip side of it all is that even being quiet and silent, you can be judged. Well, you're not saying anything. You're not giving your opinion. Why won't you respond? I don't think you care. You're too quiet. What's the old saying? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Can't please everyone. But one thing about it, you won't be judged if you said something that the person got offended by. So you just be quiet. Don't say anything. But you don't want to live to have regrets. I have a few regrets in my life. And I think the one I have the most is the going back in dealing with people that I really don't want to deal with and or have tried to make it better and it doesn't work at every turn, and why I can't just completely leave the person alone, have no contact, do not call, do not text the person. That's why I said I'm a work in progress. I am a human being. But that is something I have to work on, is moving onward and not going back in to contact or allow the person to contact me. Sometimes it is best to just have a clean break. You don't talk, you don't text, you don't call, you don't whine, you don't bitch, you don't moan, you don't act out. You just remove yourself completely. You don't answer the door, you don't answer texts, you don't answer calls, you don't call, you don't text, you don't pass messages, and you don't let a message intervene into your peripheral. If the messenger starts to open his or her mouth, you let them know, I know where you're going with this, and I do not want to hear it. Thank you. Hello, dog. Sometimes breaking free, clean break, is best, because when you linger in things, kind of like a conversation that you need to get out of, and you keep going on and on explaining yourself, just say what you got to say, be done with it. Relationships are the same. Be done with it. Don't try to call, don't try to text, don't try to ask why. Why you say that? Why you do that? You hurt my feelings. Sometimes you gotta just suck it up and say, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. This ain't going nowhere. It ain't going in my favor. I don't feel good dealing with this person. Whether I like them, love them, in love, lust them, whatever it is, it ain't working in my favor. I have to work on that. That's probably my biggest regret. The lingering. Kind of like what my friend said, who was deceased. Why are you surprised that the snake bit you? Angela. You don't recognize the snake is a snake. Snake's not going to change. It bit you once, then it means it probably will bite you twice. Acknowledge it's a snake and don't go back in. Oh, Wiccan, thank you. All this wisdom, yet I still get myself tangled up in the same scenarios. Isn't that amazing? But that's, I guess, the point in living and learning is that you want to share with people things that you don't want them to have to go through to where they can become downtrodden and miserable. So you share these experiences. You don't want to live to have regrets. And I get it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to do stupid stuff. You're going to say stupid stuff. The thing is, you try to write it best you can, apologize. And sometimes you don't apologize because maybe you feel like what you did and said wasn't nothing wrong with it. But in the end, you're the one that have to sleep with it. And that's what I always tell people. Whether they acknowledge or not, apologize, make amends, they have to carry that burden. You do not. Always remember that. Your sins are your sins. Your faults are your faults. Your mishaps are your mishaps. Nobody else's. That is the joy of being an individual. That's the joy of repenting for thyself. You don't have to repent for anybody else. Ain't that a wonderful thing? So right now, if your child goes out here and unalives somebody or beats somebody up, you don't have to carry that burden because that's your child. You may be embarrassed, but in the end, he or she is a free thinking adult, maybe even be a child, underage, but you don't carry that burden. And a lot of people do carry burdens for others. Are you that person? Carrying the burden of what other people have done and said? You're always blushing because maybe you have a loud, arrogant husband, boyfriend. He's a walkie-talkie. Maybe you have a sister. She's that way, always putting on, want to be seen. You're embarrassed to be related to her, seen with her. Maybe you have a friend that way. It could be anybody. You don't have to carry that person's burden. Hello, Little Red. Always remember that. And if ever you're in the company of someone that you feel embarrassed, shamed by, maybe it's time for you to reassess being in that person's company, being around that person or allowing that person to come around. I think some of us are guilty of that. We have friends, associates, lovers. Maybe they are just quite ignorant. You understand what I'm saying? Everything's for show. Everything's dramatic. And you actually are embarrassed to be around other people and have them in tow. You know that's not good. And you might want to do a little porch sweeping because you know it's only a matter of time something terrible is going to happen. And you are going to be embarrassed and you're not going to like that feeling. And you're going to probably wow out. And it might turn into a really bad situation. So I advise you to start sweeping around the corners of the door and air your grievances. Hey, I don't like that. I don't like when you say that. I don't like when you do that. It's embarrassing. And although you are embarrassing yourself, but I'm in your company and people know I'm with you. So it's a bad look on me because people are looking at me wondering, what the hell am I doing with you? Have you been in that situation before? You've been in the company of somebody who's just an ass. Act out, talk crazy, loud, argumentative with anybody with a post. And you know people are looking at you because you're with that person. God, it may be your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife. And they might even say, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're better than this. Why are you with him? Why are you with her? I don't know. I like him. I love him. The sex is great. I want to tell everybody that. But the sex is great. I know he's a fool. I know she's a fool. Just saying. What do you regret today? I will put that on the community page. again. And I'm also going to ask you, is there a way that you can change what you regret? Can you salvage what you regret? Regrets, plural. If you have fallen out with someone, can you go back in and make it right? Do you need to go back and make it right? Is it necessary to make it right? Can you clean up any grievances with man, woman, and child today? Now, some regrets you have, you can't go back, such as a recital, rehearsal that you missed, you didn't attend, you were supposed to participate in, you changed your mind, maybe you were sick, maybe you were ill, maybe somebody in the group offended you, you got pissed off, you said, the hell with it, I don't want to be involved, period, but you regret that you did not participate, attend. Maybe somebody had something going on and you were supposed to show up. And as I said, you were mad. You said, the hell with it. I'm mad at her. I'm mad at him. I ain't going. Maybe they had an award ceremony. Y'all had a falling out. You didn't go, but now you regret that you didn't go. What do you regret today? Oh, Loretta. Are you missing someone? Maybe they passed away and you didn't tell him or her how you felt. Maybe they wronged you, spotted you. Maybe you loved them and you ain't that type. You're not mushy. Maybe that way now. You're not a hugger. You're not a kisser. You're not affectionate with people. And you regret that you can't be like that. Am I talking to anybody out there in the audience? I want to be more affectionate. I want to be more loving to people. I want to be a hugger, kisser, a toucher. You know, some people don't like even being touched. Don't touch me. I ain't nothing personal. Some people might say, don't touch me. Don't rub my shoulder. Sometimes I'm touchy, you know, when I'm talking to people, touch your little arm. Hey, girl, let me tell you something. But, you know, some people get offended by that. So you have to be careful doing that sometimes, you know. But do you regret that you're not affectionate? You weren't affectionate in a previous relationship. You weren't a good listener. Are you a good listener? Do you hear people when they're talking, when they're venting, when they're mad? Do you cut people off? Do you run over people? Do you downplay what they're saying? Are you combative? You argue everything a person says. You got a problem with everything. Are you a nitpicker, complainer? But you regret being that way. Do you want to change it? You can try. Are you longing for someone who you had a relationship with and for some reason it just didn't work? They didn't want to work on it. You didn't want to work on it, but you are longing for him or her and you regret that you two do not speak. You do not see each other. Boy, that's a terrible place to be, is it not? Regret not working on a courtship. Maybe the person's passed away and you can't work on it. Can't say, I'm sorry. I was an ass. I could have tried. I threw in the towel. And they say a lot of people are doing that now that are married. The marriages don't last. Spending all this money on cake and wedding venue, dresses, tuxedos. And 2 years later, they're throwing knives and dishes at one another. Oh, that's deep, is it not? And I think about that a lot too when I see pictures of people on Facebook and IG. Everybody's hugging and kissing and nice, wonderful ceremonies. And the next thing you know, you're hearing the rumors. Girl, don't you know he been cheating the whole damn time, girl? He's been a whoremonger. She married him anyway. And you question, well, why would she do that? Loneliness will make you do a lot of stupid things. And I've heard men say, I just don't want to be alone. But he also knows he has a penis problem. If you get my drift. The penis tends to go into a lot of wah-wahs because he's got some insatiable desire to sleep with anything moving. Very dangerous. That loneliness can get you in a lot of trouble. I think most of you know this. Because you end up picking people who don't mean you well. They're no good for you. You feel a little bit of comfort when they're around, but then in the same breath, they do shit to agitate you. And so you got to weigh that out. How much of it's good, how much of it is bad, and it's not in your favor. So you just ride that donkey ride long enough, and maybe too long, and you're not really feeling so good. Because I really don't need to be with this person. I really don't need to be having sex with this person. I really don't need to be doing favors for this person. Don't need to be giving this person money, my time, whatever it is you're doing for them. Cooking, buying gifts, whatever. Are you receiving and getting what you need from the friendship relationship? Because if you're not, you need to bow on out. Because there's nothing like peace of mind. And I can say that sitting in this new apartment, high in the sky, awesome views out my window, and I'm grateful and I'm humble. And I'm telling myself this every day because God heard my cry. You kept thinking about this one place you lived in that had a nice little view, great apartment, balcony. You hated you had to move out that apartment for a certain reason. And you kept beating yourself up, Angela, about that apartment. But what you didn't know is that God said, I got something better than that in store for you. Just hold on a little while longer. I got a better skybox than that one apartment you were in years ago. I got you going through these things for a reason. You're going in these places that you don't like. You got bad managers, owners of the property. They ain't keeping them up. You got whack ass neighbors, low rent neighbors, messy neighbors. You got your own issues. But I'm going to make sure, because you are my child, that I'm going to put you somewhere where there are people taking care of the property, care about the property. It's clean. It's nice. There are amenities that go along with living there. And you will finally get what you've been asking for 30-something years. And that is peace. And I get it. I should have peace of mind no matter where I am. Urban, jungle, on the street, homeless, living with somebody else. But we already know that's easier said than done. This is why being a child of God has a lot of perks. There's an old black saying, and it goes kind of like this. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. Whoa, whoever said that, Lord have mercy. They knew God is real. I'm in a good place now, and I don't want to do nothing to F it up. So I know I have to make better decisions about my attitude, my tongue, and who I keep company with. Because I don't want none of those things to get me in a space where I can't stay in this place I'm in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm a work in progress. Some of you are probably a work in progress. You know what you need to be doing to make yourself a better person. And that's the best you can do is work on yourself. Because self is first. Self is number one. And that is something that somebody needs to hear tonight. You need to work on you to be a better you for you. Not Pookie, not Ray Ray, not Bubba, not Ken, not Karen, but for you and you only. You need to think of yourself first. You need to worry about yourself first. You need to put yourself over everybody else because you are number one. You are important. Exactly, Wick. He is always taking care of us, even in our worst moment when we thought God had left us. Amen. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. You need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. You got meds you're supposed to take your meds. You need to quit overeating, try to stop overeating. Try to eat healthier. Try to stop drinking. You pop drugs, go to rehab. You're fooling with people you know doing wrong things, remove yourself. You doing wrong things, you need to try to stop. Self-preservation is first. Because you see, if you preserve self, you'll probably have less regrets, less coulda, woulda, shoulda, less burdens, less drama, trauma, less chaos. Let's work on being peaceful every day, turning a new leaf every day, not the first of the year. I'm going to stop overeating. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop getting high. I'm going to stop cursing. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to quit doing this. How about we work on doing it every day of the year, because God has been good to us and allowed us to see, hear, walk, talk, breathe. So now I ask you, with all that has been said in this live stream, I've given you food for thought. What do you regret? Let's start today, before the new year even gets here, that I'm going to work on myself so as I don't have to have any regrets about what I'm doing and what I'm saying. And if I did something to offend someone, then I will apologize if I feel like I am wrong. I apologize even if I think I was in the right, just so I can keep peace in my life and not be going back and forth bickering with this one and that one. Repent, ask God to forgive me and to bless me to be a better me. Because remember, you are worthy. And you do not need to be walking around here with your head down, depressed, carrying burdens, carrying other people's burdens, being angry, frustrated, lonely, bitter, jealous, revengeful. Turn it over. Let God. And also spread this to someone who needs to hear it. Talk to your children so they can be peaceful children, peaceful adults. Share this with your mate. Be honest with people in how you feel, so as you have no regrets down the road that you never told him or her how you feel. And I've said this to someone recently. You will feel a whole lot better if you just tell your mother how you feel. So that way, if anything happens, you know, I did tell her how I feel. Live with no regrets. Start today changing things to make your life better, to make your life peaceful, so you won't have any regrets from here on out. You can't do anything about the past, but you can start today to have a better today, a better tomorrow, and a better future. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Follow me here on YouTube. Take the polls on my community page. Like, share, subscribe. I want to thank all my new subs, viewers. I want to thank all of you who jumped from platform to platform to follow my content. Thank you so very much. I pray that you all have a wonderful holiday season. If you are not celebrating the holiday season, then I pray that you are at peace at whatever it is that you're doing in your journey. Mind the children. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for commenting below my videos and my shorts, because it keeps the conversation going. And from here on out, I will be talking about hypothetical situations because I have been wanting to move the momentum of this channel for the past couple of years. It is time to stop talking about foolishness and mayhem 24/7. Because the one thing I have said to you all, and this is the truth because it's in the Bible, it's in the scripture, Psalms, speak it and it shall be so. You continue to claim and talk about foolishness, nonsense, especially death. You should surely know you'll probably come close to death, to those situations. That's why it's not good to talk about terrible things 24/7. I think most of you should know this. You have to be very careful what you speak on your tongue. You have to be very careful of your thought process because you can be claiming these demons if you're not careful. I do not want to claim foolishness nor mayhem. And I always have to tell myself when I'm thinking about something and when I'm speaking about it, be careful what you claim. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful week. Check out my movie of the week, Deadly Shores. You have been listening to the Vault Excel. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you all. Blessings to all of you. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for listening to this network. Now I'm going to go watch a little reality TV. Shut your mouth because I am queen and honey, I can have one little guilty indulgence. Thank you all so much. You've been listening to the Vault Excel.